Two things changed in this case this week. And neither one has gotten the
FBI involved,
attention
they
it deserves
said.
yet. The FBI is now involved, and the young woman at the very center of this entire timeline dispute, the one whose account either confirms or destroys the story Nolan's friends told, has finally had her side of things put on the record through her own family.
Whew. All right. Well, Long Crime is putting out some fire today. Oh, boom, boom.
What happened to 18-year-old Nolan Wells over Independence Day weekend? Jackson County Sheriff
FBI, if the
John
FBI
Ledbetter
talk
met
in,
with WL West to give what updates
that's
he
a
could.
good sign,
However,
chat.
considering
This investigation is active. It's ongoing.
he wasn't able to confirm much, Ledbetter did confirm that interviews have been conducted with witnesses, and the department has been in contact with other departments and agencies, including the FBI. The investigation has benefited from information brought by the community.
This recent week, we've
so people
gotten a
is
lot
talking.
of valuable information that has come from the public.
That's what's up.
We put out a call to action last week for that information.
That's what's
and
up.
It's been very productive for us.
Many
That's
are
good.
preparing for the return of Wells.
'Cause y'all was making it seem like y'all ain't give a fuck.
Toxicology testing is conducted by outside laboratories, and the analysis and review process can take several weeks. A spokesperson for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety states every case is unique and deserves a thorough review. Therefore, cases cannot all be handled the same way or in the same timeline. While theories circle social media, those who are close to Nolan are still waiting for closure, as one friend spoke in an ABC interview.
I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown. And if the fact shows that somebody harmed Nolan, I hope that there is justice brought. And if it was a tragic accident and somebody didn't speak up, I still hope justice is brought.
For sure.
The facts is the only thing that's going to overturn that. So that's what I'm just
I
waiting
agree with that.
patiently to see before I think anything else. I just know I've lost my best friend.
Damn. That sucks.
That's pretty serious. Rolling.
Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter gave an update recently, and it contained two details that hadn't been part of the public record before. First, he confirmed his department has been conducting formal witness interviews and has been in direct contact with outside agencies, including the FBI. Second, he said tips from the public have genuinely moved this investigation forward.
That's what's
in
up.
his words, this past week brought in a lot of valuable
They was
information.
making it seem like wasn't nobody saying nothing. Everybody trying to act like they don't know what's going. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody killed them. But if they didn't, then rest in peace to them regardless. But I think even if nobody killed them, I feel like people should still go to jail for knowing what happened and not saying nothing. Like, that's kind of crazy, gang. Listen, y'all, YouTube and Meta might owe you up to $1,000 if you or your child grew up on social media. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health issues, you should hear this. Recently, a jury just ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They know that their apps can cause anxiety, depression, or body image issues, but they never shared those risks with us. They never made us sign anything that we knew the risk. They just maximized their profits. And the recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. But you better not worry. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm that they have caused. Click the link in my bio to take a very short questionnaire quiz, because you might be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000.
From the public after his office specifically asked people to come forward. He called that response productive. He was also direct about where things stand more broadly. This investigation, he said, is active. It's ongoing. Coming from a sheriff whose earlier public comments, particularly the phrase "no foul play was suspected," drew significant criticism and confusion, this update reads differently. It's more measured,
That's the same dude that said that?
and notably avoids repeating any language that could be read as prematurely closing off possibilities.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the reason this even happening is because of the national attention that it got. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why, when everybody, why y'all jumping to conclusions? Y'all ain't even well, when the sheriff comes out barely 24 hours after they found out he was dead, then they find the body, and the first thing you say is "no foul play suspected." Motherfucker, how do you know? Y'all ain't did no investigating, no question asking, no interviews, no shit. You gonna tell me about no foul? It sounded like you was trying to dismiss it. Like, oh, it wasn't no foul play. And I feel like if this wasn't a national story, if this wasn't on the national news, this probably would have got swept under the rug and it wouldn't even got talked about again. You know what I'm saying?
Whether that shift in tone reflects a genuine change in approach or simply a lesson learned from how badly the earlier wording landed publicly isn't something we can know from the outside. But the language itself has clearly changed.
You look just like his mom.
Before this gets overstated, it's worth being precise about what's actually been confirmed here. Ledbetter said his office has been in contact with the FBI.
So we're just finding out the feds. That's the only way that makes any type of sense. But let's continue on.
That is a real, meaningful development, but it is not the same thing as the FBI taking over this case.
Right.
Or opening a formal federal investigation of its own. Local and state investigations
If the
bring in
feds get
federal
involved?
agencies for a range of reasons. Forensic resources, jurisdictional questions, digital evidence recovery. Without that contact, meaning the case has fully transferred to federal hands, what it does suggest is that Jackson County's own investigation has expanded beyond what a small local sheriff's office typically handles alone. Combined with an independent autopsy being conducted separately in Washington, D.C., and Crump's earlier public question about whether the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation should take this case over entirely, this is now a case being examined from multiple directions at once, not just one. It's worth understanding, generally, why a local sheriff's office might reach out to the FBI in a case like this, even without any formal takeover. Federal agencies often bring specialized digital forensics capabilities that smaller departments simply don't have in-house, particularly relevant here given the ongoing questions about deleted phone content.
Right.
They can also assist with cross-jurisdictional coordination, useful in a case where witnesses, family members, and now 2 separate autopsy teams are spread across multiple states. None of that confirms any specific federal role in this case yet, but it does mean the contact itself is a plausible, fairly ordinary response to a case that's become logistically and forensically complicated, rather than necessarily a sign that federal civil rights investigators have opened their own separate inquiry.
Right.
No. We're not.
But I thought the feds was gonna get involved. I don't know how that works though. I don't know if the feds can just choose when they want to take a case or I don't know how that works. So y'all had to tell me, but y'all probably know better than me. But yeah, like I don't know. Like I thought the feds was gonna take over once I seen how much attention it was getting though, and how like the police was kind of making it seem like it wasn't nothing to be worried about and all that. It's kind of weird, gang.
A CNN law enforcement analyst, a former police chief in both Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., has offered some useful context on what this stage of an investigation typically looks like. He said it's important to interview each of Nolan's friends individually, one at a time, along with anyone who was on the beach that day and the young woman Nolan was reportedly talking to. The reason for interviewing people separately rather than together is straightforward. It's the only way to check whether everyone's account of the same day actually holds together or starts to diverge once people aren't in the room reinforcing each other's version of events. He also made a broader point worth remembering. Nothing about the pace of this investigation, in his professional experience, is actually unusual, aside from the intense public speculation surrounding it. Gathering complete evidence and conducting proper interviews in a case like this commonly takes a week or longer. That doesn't make the wait easier for a grieving family. But it does mean the timeline itself isn't, on its own, evidence of anything being mishandled. There's a reason investigators insist on individual interviews rather than group conversations, and it's worth spelling out. When people are interviewed together, or even simply aware of what others in their group have already said, their own account can shift, consciously or not, to align with the group's version. Separating witnesses removes that pressure and lets investigators compare independent accounts of the same afternoon, looking specifically for the places where those accounts naturally overlap versus the places where they start to pull apart. In a case built almost entirely on competing accounts of who said what to whom, that kind of careful, individual interviewing process isn't just standard procedure. It's arguably the single most important tool investigators actually have right now, more so than the physical evidence, given how much of this case still hinges on memory and conversation rather than forensics.
Let me ask y'all this question. Once again, law and crime, miss me with that bullshit. Hell no.
I mean, at this point, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what y'all thinking, but at this point, I'm thinking that somebody did something to him. Just because of the fact that they had a phone, some shit ended up deleted. I don't know what the reason is, and I feel like I'm kind of scared. I don't know if y'all is, but I'm kind of scared to find out because it doesn't seem like it's gonna be some regular like this. I'm just scared that when this bomb drop, I'm scared it's gonna be some shit. Like some man, boy. I don't know what the fuck they gonna say. I don't know what they gonna say, gang, but I think it's past the point of it just being an accident.
Now here's the second major thread in this update, and it directly touches the most important contradiction in the entire case. For weeks, this story has hinged on a single disputed conversation. According to Ben Crump, the young woman Nolan was speaking with told him she was heading back to the boat to rejoin his friends. The friends say the opposite, that Nolan told them he wanted to stay behind with her. That young woman's name is
Somebody
Katie.
lying.
Her mother, Gracie McCormack, has since confirmed publicly that Katie was indeed the person with Nolan that day. I want to be precise here, because it matters. Katie herself has not given a direct on-record interview to any outlet that we're aware of. What we have instead is her account, relayed secondhand through her sister and her mother. According to a Facebook post from Katie's sister, Nolan's friends were pressuring him to end his conversation with Katie so he could ride back with them. Katie had a conversation with Nolan, and based on that conversation, assumed he was getting ready to get on the boat he'd originally arrived on. Katie herself made it home safely that day on a separate boat with different people. According to the post, she was picked up by her sister's brother and sister-in-law. The post also states that Katie assumed the friends telling Nolan to get on the boat wouldn't have actually left him behind. And it says the family has already given, in their words, all the answers they can give, both to Nolan's mother.
Now remember, the story is that they left him behind and he tried to swim towards the boat and he ended up drowning. That shit didn't sound, because you're not about to tell me no black man in Mississippi jumped in a boat that was going 60 miles an hour away from him and he jumped in a boat to what? Swim towards him? What the fuck is he, Flash? What is he, Dash from Mr. Incredible or something? Like, what the fuck, he gonna run on the water? That don't even say, that just sounds stupid. Like, that don't even sound like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then they tried to say, the friends tried to say that, the friends said that he didn't come on the boat with them. But I didn't know that. Katie said that the friends was trying to hurry up, get him to hurry up and stop talking. And remember what I said? I said, I think that they was mad that he was getting that white girl butt and they wanted the white girl butt and they was mad that the nigga was getting the white girl butt. That's what I said happened. I don't know, though. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know.
And to authorities. I think it's worth walking through the emotional logic embedded in that account, because it actually helps explain how a situation like this could unfold without anyone necessarily intending harm. If Katie genuinely believed in that moment that Nolan was heading toward the boat, she'd have had no reason to think anything was wrong. She wasn't watching to confirm he actually got on. She simply assumed it, the way anyone would after a brief conversation ends and the person you were talking to turns and walks in a particular direction. That assumption, reasonable as it may have been in the moment, is exactly the kind of small human gap that can end up mattering enormously afterward when everyone involved is trying to reconstruct exactly what happened based on assumptions rather than confirmed observations. Katie's mother, Gracie McCormack, added her own statement separately, also on Facebook. She confirmed Katie was the young woman with Nolan that day.
That's Katie's mom, okay.
She said Katie has remained in contact with the Wells family since. But she was also clear about the limits of what her daughter actually knows. Katie, according to her mother, has no real insight into what happened to Nolan after the two of them parted ways. That last point matters. Katie's account, even filtered through her family, doesn't claim to know what happened to Nolan afterward. It only speaks to what she believed was happening in the moment she last saw him, that he was heading toward the boat. It's worth noting how Katie's mother chose to frame her statement overall. She didn't use the moment to defend her daughter against any accusation, because Katie hasn't actually been accused of anything by anyone connected to this case.
I don't think Katie did nothing.
The statement reads more like an attempt to correct the record and provide clarity while also protecting her daughter from further public exposure. That's a meaningfully different posture than the statements we've seen from some of the other families connected to this case, and it's worth keeping that distinction in mind as this story continues to develop.
The only statement she can make.
Yeah, bro. Sad story. I'm good. I'm glad the Fed stepped in though. Now that the Fed stepped in, I got hope again. I got some hope. Cause I was really scared they was going, you know what I'm saying? I was really scared they was gonna throw this case up under the rug and act like nothing happened. You get. So to me, like I said, it's getting more clear that something happened. Maybe it didn't happen on purpose, but something for sure happened because the girl Katie is saying that his friends was trying to hurry him up out of the conversation so they could hurry up and get on the boat. You see what I'm saying? But the same friends said that he didn't want to get on the boat and they left without him because they said that the boat was malfunctioning. Somebody lying, gang. Somebody lying, bro.